Welcome to My Long Island TV. From Manhasset to Montauk, we have traveled our communities to bring you the following events. I'm your host, Waldo Cabrera. My Long Island TV starts now.
Hello, I'm John Owens, editor-in-chief of Anton Community Newspapers, a group of 18 newspapers covering Long Island. Today, our guest is Grant Lally. He's the Republican candidate for Congress in New York's 3rd Congressional District. Now, you're a resident of Lloyd Harbor, correct? A graduate of Johns Hopkins, correct? Boston University Law School, Georgetown Law School. Yep. Now, tell me, why you for Congress now?
This country's at a crossroads right now. And I think we have an opportunity to try to set things right. I've not been a big fan or supporter of what Obama has done in his foreign policy. I'm opposing Congressman Steve Israel, who's a 14-year incumbent, who has really been Barack Obama's right-hand man. I mean, we're calling him Steve Israel, Barack Obama's mini-me, because for the last 4 years, he's been the head of Barack Obama's Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. That's the fundraising arm of the Democratic Party's congressional operation. It's a purely political position. Steve Israel has not served on one single committee in the United States Congress, and after 14 years, all he's passed are 2 bills, and those 2 bills were to rename post offices. It's a very mediocre record, it's a very political record, and I think we need a representative on the North Shore who can represent us and represent our interests and also be intelligent in being able to do things constructively in the U.S. Congress.
Well, what do you think the 3 big issues are in the district for this election?
Look, number 1 issue is taxes. Taxation rates are too high. Barack Obama imposed the largest tax increase in American history, both in his tax increase and in imposing Obamacare. It's really hurting people. It's really hurting businesses. It's really hurting job creation. So we need to reduce taxes. And I think we will see the economy grow if we reduce taxes and reduce tax rates. So that's number 1. Number 2, Obamacare. I don't have to tell you there are now over 10 million people who have had their insurance policies, their health insurance policies, canceled due to Obamacare. It's caused tremendous disruption in the medical payment industry. Hospitals and doctors don't know where they're getting paid. They don't know what they're getting paid.
Well, what is the alternative?
The healthcare sector does need to be reformed, and I'm a strong supporter of that. But let's use the forces of the market to get more health care to more people at a lower cost instead of trying to disrupt the entire system. Number 1, let's give individuals and families the same health care deduction that businesses now get. What does that do? It means if you don't get health care, if you don't get health care through your employer, it means you can go buy health insurance privately, and you'll get a tax deduction, same deduction that the business would get if they provided it for you. Secondly, it'll create millions of more consumers for health insurance in the market. So what does that do? Anytime you have more competition, anytime you have price competition, it tends to bring the prices down. You'll see a lot more, as you have a lot more consumers competing and looking for better insurance policies, those policies will be provided.
How would you revive business here on Long Island? How would you bring business here to Long Island?
Global commerce is still very heavily centered in New York. We're the capital of the commercial capital of the world. And we need to protect and preserve that, which means we need to have tax policies, we need to have regulatory policies that encourage business and reward people who are entrepreneurial and create businesses. And that's common sense. On the federal level, what we can do is we can lower marginal tax rates, because high marginal tax rates disproportionately hit New York, where both the cost of living and incomes are higher than the U.S. average. I mean, we don't necessarily keep it at the end of the day, but our nominal income levels are higher. And because of that, higher marginal tax rates hit us in New York harder than they hit people in South Carolina or Nevada or the Dakotas or other parts of the country that have lower nominal incomes.
Do you believe in doing the fracking for natural gas?
It's kind of for me, it's a no-brainer. I mean, I take science very seriously. I went to Johns Hopkins. I had a science minor there, and I do understand the science of it. But fracking is really not proven to be damaging or dangerous in any way, and it's been a bonanza for the local areas that have introduced it. It's created jobs, it's created cheaper energy, and it has actually reduced the cost of natural gas in the United States, and really it's caused an energy boom because the places that have done it have boomed,
Sure.
and the country's benefited. So I think, sure, we should have it in New York.
Thank you so much. I mean, it's been great talking to you. And I'm John Owens, editor-in-chief of Anton Community Newspapers, and I'd like to thank Grant Lally for coming by today and discussing his campaign for Congress in the 3rd Congressional District.